For more on President Biden and the international community, I'm joined from Oxford in the UK by author and security analyst James Maclaren. Welcome to the program, James.
Thank you, Gerald. Nice to have you here.
Oh, thank you. So, after 4 years of the Trump presidency, hearing Joe Biden today at the G7 and Munich Security Conference, what struck you most?
Well, I think, first of all, the idea that he's going to engage far more with his European allies than may have been the case with the previous administration. I think this will send a very clear message to those allies that work closely with the United States that the US is back on being course for an ally that can be trusted and which they can work with on some of the major international issues facing them all.
James, Biden did say he wants to re-establish the US as a multilateral team player, but is that easier said than done? I mean, sure, you can rejoin a treaty, resume funding to UN bodies, but how does he persuade those partners that the America First mentality really is over?
Well, of course, that's the real challenge that he and his administration face. The words are very easy, and what people will judge will be the actions that follow. However, I don't think we'll have to wait long for that. There are enough situations going on around the globe that will require multilateral effort and for the allies to work together. And certainly, I think many of the European allies will very much welcome the chance to engage with President Biden and the team to see how they can can face those challenges that are rapidly approaching us.
Generally, though, do you sense that there is more trepidation, perhaps, in the international community now that U.S. foreign policy is quite mercurial? I mean, it's all subject to 4-year cycles, which could be completely upended. So how dependable a partner is Washington?
Well, that is very true, and I think what's going to happen is we're going to see not a fast process to regain some of this trust. It's going to take place over a period of time. And we'll have to see how the administration engages with the major institutions such as NATO, as the EU, the OSCE, and all of the other major actors and players which have kept the world order fairly stable for the last few decades. We're going to have to see whether the words of President Biden are matched by the actions of his administration. And it won't happen overnight. It will take some time.
Right. And of course, it's all a process. So Biden also urged his European allies to think about long-term strategic competition with China. So how does the US re-engage China after a particularly acrimonious period of bilateral relations?
Well, it is difficult. These are two huge countries. They are strategic rivals, and they are wrestling for space in the geopolitical environment. It will not be easy. I think President Biden's approach is very much to see whether the international community of like-minded nations can be able to compete on a level playing field with China. No one wishes a second Cold War upon the globe. What we do want to see, however, is that the values of the Western nations are matched by the commercial enterprise of China. And I think that is something which they'll be striving for.
You mentioned values of Western nations. I mean, Biden also talks about the need to defend democracies. How does that message play out in light of how he came to power? You know, that bitter election and then, of course, the insurrection at the seat of American democracy, the Capitol.
Well, definitely the process has lost some of the credibility that we might have associated with previous political processes. But, you know, politics in democracies has always been quite turbulent, and friction between parties, friction in the process is nothing really new. Probably what's more at play now is that it's so much more visible through the various means of media that we have. And I think once that we have settled into a more stable relationship with the United States in terms of their politics, then I think we can get back to some of the relationships that we have enjoyed in the previous past through the major institutions.
Lots to observe for the next 4 years. James Maclaren, thanks for your time.
Definitely. Thank you.